Hey guys, welcome back to Beaneater Buzz. Jordan Hunt here, back here with Colleen McGuire,
Everyone?
talking about Braves baseball. Kind of a weird road trip, really. Started out horribly. I mean, almost
bad.
as bad as it could possibly
Pretty
be.
discouraging.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, I was one of the people who was very discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
Very discouraged. And I still, to this day, will say that I think that I truly think that that series closed out the division.
Barring
We
some crazy
Yeah, I mean we have to really
Braves
do
take
some
3 or 4.
wild shit,
Yeah.
right? We got to face Scherzer and DeGrom both again this week. Like, if they pitch anywhere near as good as they've been pitching, you can pretty much write that off.
Yeah, if we lose one of the first 2 or both of the first 2, it's just like it's done. I don't see any way that it's possible maybe we take one of those 2 games depending who we throw and how they do. You never know. It could be a tied lead or one of those things. But I think our best chance of winning is tomorrow with Strider versus Cookie. And if we don't do that,
which also kind of concerns me because of Strider's comments. I just feel
I feel like Spencer and the Mets are both motivated in this series.
Yeah, right. It's
They're
gonna
both
be fun
going
game.
into it with I gotta do this. I gotta,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's gonna be interesting to see how Spencer responds to the fact that he got so much negative attention for saying that, and I don't know. I mean, the Mets are good. Like they
are.
I mean, you and I have talked about it all year. We can't really deny that they're good this year. They are. They have been all year. Now, I did think for a lot of the year that this is crazy. How are they getting all these crazy weird hits all the time and stuff? But then when you actually watch them go up to the plate and you watch their approach, they're not even trying to get hits. That's why I say that they get lucky hits, because they're not trying to get hits. Sure, they are to an extent. Yeah, they're just trying to put the ball in play or foul it off so they can see another pitch. They're just looking for a good pitch. And the reason they get so many quote unquote lucky hits is because they're just trying to put the ball in play, maybe even foul it off. And it ends up dribbling fair at 49 miles an hour, right? So, hey, kudos to the Mets, dude. That shit's been working for them. Putting it in play, taking their walks, not striking out like that.
And it's not only that, it's that paired with their pitching.
Right. And then a Pete Alonso dinger every day.
Yeah.
I mean
it's not just their offense. Because if they had a starting rotation more like ours, maybe, which is okay, but not fantastic, or they had a lesser pitching rotation like they had last year, I think then you're looking at they're probably not winning as many games. But when your pitcher is only giving up 1, 2, 0 runs, you can, only do a little bit of what you need to do, and then you're able to win. And when Diaz is out there, who's pretty much automatic, I mean, you're we only need a 1-run lead late, and the game is over.
Yeah, so last night they won 1-0. And I mean, and a lot
had
of
the tying run and the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Yeah, and did not have his good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have his slider.
That's probably the first time that Mets fans sweat a little bit. They were probably wait a second, he walked 2 guys.
He relied solely on his fastball last night, and his fastball is so good that he still got out of it. Like that, it was crazy. I mean, you can't just sit here and continue to say that they're not good, because they are.
Yeah.
And DeGrom and Scherzer are the best 1-2 punch in baseball.
You look at a 5-game series in the playoffs where you have to face Scherzer twice and DeGrom twice. Well,
that's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, you would need it. And don't get me wrong. If you had if Charlie Morton was being Charlie Morton at that time, which has been so hit and miss this season, and it kind of sucks for him because every time he tries to start getting on a roll, he has one of those games. And then the bullpen loses it for him.
Yeah.
And the offense doesn't score at all. And it's twice he's gone through 7, struck out 10 plus.
Not giving up a run.
Hasn't given up a run. Only got 1 run of support, and then the bullpen scored or gave up 3 runs immediately after he came out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that for him because it's probably like if he wins both of those games, like maybe he's on a heater, like maybe he's on a roll for a while, but hasn't worked out that way. But if you've got Max Fried, I put Max Fried up against anybody, especially in a big game. Like game 6, dude, we all know like it's legendary at this point. It's not even like, can he get it done? It's like this dude gets it done.
And the game on Saturday, he didn't pitch poorly at all. I believe it was only 2 earned runs that were charged to him, and it could easily have been less than that.
Yeah.
You could have been looking at a game where it's 1-0 Mets going into the late innings, and you don't know what happens, but defense kind of let him down there. So.
Yeah, and then, I wonder how, like, it's crazy because on the mound, he didn't appear to have any problems at all. And that's why I put the tweet out about, like, come on, like, Alex Anthopoulos manipulates the roster constantly. So I truly thought, like, maybe he's just sore from falling. Maybe he's, his head hurts. Like, if I hit my head on something hard enough, it hurts for a few days, whether it's, like, a headache or not.
Yeah, and it's possible, too, with the adrenaline of the game that he's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I can keep pitching. And then later when it all kind of settles down, you're like, ooh, my neck's kind of bothering me. And then they were like, ooh, maybe we don't risk this and don't let him make his next start. Let's give him a little bit of a rest. So,
hey, you know what? It worked out fine in Miami. So if we hold him off.
We went into that series, I was like, oh, shoot, we'll be lucky for a split. Even not facing Alcantara, I was like.
I mean, I kind of feel bad about it now because they came out and said, oh, like after game 1, they were like, oh, Kyle Muller and Ian Anderson is starting tomorrow. And I put out that tweet and I was like, look, this is the Braves way of telling us we're going for a split on Sunday, And I was like, whatever it is, it's a split. And Kyle Muller was awesome.
He was.
Ian Anderson it was weird because he was like old Ian Anderson in a way, right?
Mm-hmm. Like kind of went out there with something to prove,
Yeah, but he had the first inning struggles, which he hasn't had much this year. And then dominated the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And this year it's been like backwards where like he gets through the first inning fine. And then he just can't get anybody out after that. And he's walking everybody and whatever. But and then man, Bryce Elder today was just
I'm impressed.
I was like he got through 5. I was like, damn, dude, we can't ask for much more.
Like, how is Mike Moroth not the major league pitching coach? Like, I mean, at this point, I don't know how you can see the magic that he works.
Job though. I mean, I don't know.
But it seems like anytime a guy goes down to AAA,
they got to go down there to come back and make
good.
Rick look
so it's
good,
like, why don't we just have that guy up here and we don't have to worry about
it? I mean, like, that's a good question. Why? Like, even if you want to keep Kranitz around, yeah, you're right, Trent.
Or make him like the assistant pitching coach.
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to keep Kranitz around, like, bring him up and make him your assistant pitching coach, and like, then I mean, we have 2 hitting coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, Seitzer and his. No, you're good. I'm gonna get up too because I gotta turn my light on here. It's kind of dark.
She likes to sit in the closet. Also, she cries until I open it.
All right, sorry. Yeah, Trent, you're right. We did basically sweep the Marlins with Gwinnett's pitching staff, and like, I don't know who Gwinnett threw this weekend, but
right. And so it's not like we went into this series and it was like Fried, Strider, Wright, Morton, and then we swept them. And it's like, okay, of course, like you put your best pitchers. It's like, no, we put our worst, like all number 5 guys. And we won all 4 of those games.
Yeah, it was weird.
So to say like, oh, well, the Braves were facing AAA pitching. No wonder they swept. No.
And the thing is, to say that is even ridiculous because game 1, we faced Pablo Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Lopez is a stud. Like, that dude's really good. There's a reason, like, every team in baseball that was in contention called about that guy at the trade deadline.
And the guy today, we didn't get any runs off him. So it's certainly not like we were just blowing up every one of the pitchers they threw out there.
Which was weird.
Today it was
he
the
was a
bullpen.
lefty. 5, 6, 7, and 8 options for Braves staff. And got a sweep. Yeah.
It was 5A, 5B, 5C.
Yeah.
5D is who we.
But, you know, whatever. You got to win them how. You know, you got to. And I saw another tweet where somebody was like, the Mets or the Braves are 10-1 against everybody except the Mets and the Phillies, who they're 3-7 against since the All-Star break. And I'm like, okay. So the Braves are 13-8 since the All-Star break? Sounds great. We're 5 games over 500 since the All-Star break. I'll take it. Like, I'm not going to complain about the games that we do win. Like, I'm not going to be like, well, yeah, we've got 95 wins this year, but only
X number of them were against
teams. Yeah, like,
it's
a shit.
Because I think the interesting thing is, like, you look at last year, we got swept by the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium in what was that, August or September, right? And you're like, wow, we suck against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and
we get into the postseason.
Series, though.
It was, but we got swept, right? Ultimately, regardless.
Yeah.
And then so you have to face them in a postseason. You're like, wow, we suck against the Dodgers, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't really matter. It's all about getting in. And then
and I think
when you're throwing your best guys against their best guys, that's the difference. Is you don't know how a series lines up. You may end up facing Nola and Wheeler, and we were throwing, Anderson and Odorizzi. Like, those are the things that. Sometimes that's how it works out. But in the playoffs, if you're in there and you're throwing the best lineups and the best guys, anyone can win any game.
Who cares when you're getting these wins? If you get 95 wins, Drew some. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Remember when Inoa couldn't make his start, and then like Chavez started that game, and then Smiley pitched a few innings, and that was game 4, right?
Game 4.
The game we won in Dodger Stadium.
Wait, you're talking about the postseason?
Oh, I was thinking about the August.
I was like, he's talking about August.
But he did pitch well in Dodger
he
Stadium.
did. Yeah, that's right, because he gave up like 4 homers in that game. I do remember that now. Yeah.
And then look how he looked in that LCS, right?
Yeah,
he looked good in that game.
And dude, I mean, him and Kyle Wright in the World Series. I mean, that was probably that's probably the least talked about huge thing that happened in the World Series. Mm-hmm. Right? Is like,
he's the reason they won that game.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't win that game without Kyle Wright. Mm-hmm. And I remember him coming into game 2 that we lost. And I think it was just the 9th inning. He pitched just the 9th inning. And he just looked so nasty. And it was
he struck out the side or something crazy where you're like, oh, okay, guy.
All right, Kyle, right? Yeah. So, anyways, I want to talk about Trent's favorite rookie, favorite new Braves rookie.
Geraldo Quintero?
Yeah, that's where I was going. I was going to say that. Yeah, I was about to say that. So, yeah, anyways, Vaughn Grissom has been, I mean, you can't ask for better. It's that tank he hit in Fenway was just like, okay.
I mean, it doesn't get bigger than that.
No,
I don't think it gets cooler than that for your first major league home run.
Like, his family
over
had
the
to be
monster.
So stoked.
Your family watching.
Yep. And somehow they got that.
Your first game
went on the street. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, it's good stuff. 2 hits.
So awesome for him.
And like the first couple of bats, like, he looked a little bit like. I mean, I don't want to say overmatched. He looked nervous, right? I mean,
and I'm sure he was.
With great reason. He probably, I think I tweeted this the other night, he was probably thinking, hey, next season I've got a shot to make it to the major leagues halfway through the year or something, right? And then Orlando Arcia gets hurt. And even at that point, it kind of felt like a joke, right? We all woke up on Twitter and somebody said that Braves rumor page or whatever, they were like, hey, I heard that, Vaughn Grissom's getting the call. And even then we were like, bullshit. That's not happening. Come
right.
on.
We're like, oh, it's going to be like demerit. Somebody just gets the call because we need a body to fill the.
We all know Taylor Motter's coming up, okay? and then it was like,
it's
okay, Von Grissom,
and that's who it's going to be.
What the fuck? Yeah, I thought that too. And to be honest, any of those options I wouldn't have complained about.
Right.
I think Ryan Goins is with the team right now, which is interesting because it's like,
he hasn't been like announced as, it's just, I guess he's there like a,
I think they're going to
squad sort of
probably option Bryce Elder, right? Or I don't know if they're going to keep Bryce Elder up now because
so they sent Ian back down because he was a 27th man.
Right.
Is Kyle still up or did they send him back down?
No, so they sent him down to bring up Elder. And I thought for sure that they were going to send him down. Sorry, guys, you're going to hear me open this drink. I thought for sure that after last night's game or after game one yesterday, whenever they said, oh, hey, Ryan Goins is here, I was like, oh, okay. After this game, Mueller will go down. Ryan Goins will be activated. That way we have a backup infielder. He still hasn't been activated. It's the White Claw, okay? It's a White Claw.
Nice.
It's gluten-free. It's the only thing I can drink.
What flavor is it?
It's watermelon lime smash. And
what is it? Wait, show it to me. That sounds so good. Is that a special
watermelon
one?
lime smash. Yeah, it just came out.
I need to find that immediately.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I was the colors. I was like, oh, that's watermelon, but that I love anything watermelon.
It's pretty dank. I'm not gonna lie, pretty dank. It's different because it's like watermelon and lime, so it's not exactly watermelon. Yeah, it's pretty good though.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, it's gluten free, so I can drink it. So I can't drink beer anymore because beer is made with wheat and hops and all the fun stuff that I'm not allowed to have. So I'm sweating like Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, dude, Von Grissom though, he's been awesome. Yeah, him and Michael Harris, dude. Like, I mean, I know we keep talking about Michael Harris every time we do a podcast, but I mean,
he continues to be so good. It's awesome that we have reason to keep talking about him.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, the home run he hit today was not cheap.
I mean, he hits big homers in big
left
spots
center,
a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He does them. I think I saw today 4 of his home runs have come in like high leverage situation or like late in the game, quote unquote, which was, I'm assuming late in the game refers to 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. So,
yeah, and they're Chip every time it's the 7th, 8th, or 9th throw, he's touting his late game stats. And
dude, he says it every time he comes to.
He does. He really he picks one thing and he's like, I'm going to say this 27 times until it stops being.
Yeah, he really does.
Like, I mean, that's that's his. You're gonna jinx it.
His thing, man.
Run it into the ground.
Every time he says something, I'm like, Chip, shut the fuck up. Every time, I'm like, why are you saying this? We're trying to win this game, man. Because nobody jinxes the way Chip does either. So it's
really seems like that, right?
I mean, it's pretty epic. But yeah, fun win today. Little comeback job that, like you and I talked about prior to starting to record. It just felt like it was coming the whole game.
Yeah, you're just like, we're gonna break through. Like
this is the
inning. It's gonna happen.
We didn't score. No, this is the inning. Okay, we didn't score. And then that ball that
I think there was only 1, 2, 3 inning for the Braves in that entire game. So we had runners constantly on base.
We were lucky to come away
a
with
big
a win
hit.
there. Yeah, and it felt like we had a hit in like every. How many hits did we have today? Had to be like.
How many hits and how many guys did we leave on base?
I know we left like 13 on base or something like that. Something crazy. Oh, hey, what is this, Trent? Trent tweeted a photo of us.
A photo of us?
Yeah, the podcast. Quit. Here. Hold on. I'm trying to pull this up. Let's see. The Braves had 10 hits today.
Okay.
That's not that great that we only scored 3 runs. But, I mean, we still won the game, which is awesome.
At least we scored 3. Imagine if it was like 0 runs on 8 hits or something. I was fully expecting that one, like the idea of the 1-0 loss, which to me, there is nothing more frustrating in baseball than losing 1-0. I'd rather lose 10-9 than 1-0.
Yeah. Because, like, how often do the Braves get shut out?
Yeah.
Not often.
And
I don't know how
this
many
is the
times it's happened
Marlins.
this year, but
And
yeah.
for our pitching to only give up 1 run. And we're
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And see, that's, going back to the Charlie Morton thing. That's why those things annoy me. It's because it's like, okay, he completely shuts the other team down for all these, 7 innings, and then nobody can score. We score 1 run, whatever, and then the bullpen blows it. And then the next time he comes out, he gives up 4 or 5 runs, and it's like,
well, that's what it was. I joked.
Who are we getting this week?
The Red Sox game, I was like, apparently the only way for Charlie to be good is if we don't give him run support. Because we scored like 4 or 5 runs, like while he was still in the game, and he gave up about 4 runs.
And he just kept giving up homers. And I was like, why is it? How did we give up so many homers to Tom Pham in that series? It was a 2-game series.
The Braves Achilles heel, Tommy.
It felt like he homered 4 times in the 2-game series. It was like, geez. Tommy Pham. I don't like that guy at all. I would have taken him in a trade, and I told people that. And a lot of people were like, after what he did to Jock, fuck yeah, after what he did to Jock. I don't care. Jock's a giant now. I'm trying to win a World Series again, okay? And
we don't have Jock anymore.
Yeah, we don't have Jock anymore. I'm sure the clubhouse would probably give Pham a hard time about it when he got there. But, he's professional. He would have sucked it up for 2 months and gone about his way, whatever. And if we won a World Series, and Tommy Pham had a big hit, everybody would be like, Tommy Pham is a god.
Always love Tommy. Always love Tommy Pham.
So, whatever. Anyways, and Braves ended up, was it, I guess, 6-4? No, 7-4 on the road trip, which is pretty miraculous considering we started
all day. If going into that, if you said 7-4, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah, going into the beginning of the Mets series, and that somebody was like, "Hey, the Braves are going to go 7-4 this road trip." You'd be thinking, "Hell yeah, we're going to be in first place at the end of this road trip," or something like
probably.
That. Yeah, you'd be like, "This is going to be a great."
I think ultimately, I don't know. Coming into this, I was like, maybe we take 2 against the Mets. I really wasn't expecting to win that series.
I really thought that they would step up in that series. I really thought they would.
They really should have won that first game of the doubleheader. They really should have.
Yeah.
Like when you're not scoring any runs off David Peterson.
But he's done that to us twice this year. Which is crazy because he's a lefty and we own lefties, but we saw what a lefty did to us today also. So.
Yeah.
It's funny because every time Chip and them bring that up, they're like, these guys, every time BJ comes up, these guys crush lefties, right? And I'm like, BJ, every time you say that, we score no runs in 6 innings, dude. We get shut out. And it's like, can we stop saying these things? It really, every single time they say it, I'm like, oh, great. They said it again. We're going to get – and it feels like they're just like almost like they stat padded at the beginning of the year against lefties. And now like those numbers are there, but they're –
right.
That's not what's happening on the field right now.
Maybe not so much recently, yeah.
But Chip and them are like, oh, let's just do the whole sample
That's
size.
just another example. Is like he gets one stat and he runs with it, regardless if it continues to be. And he's like, this is it. We're really good against lefties.
Yeah, and we're not. We kind of are, actually. Speaking of, that was another thing that impressed me with Michael Harris homer today. That was against the lefty. And I told Trent this season when we first started doing the Beehive podcast, the first thing that I kept saying whenever people would be like, we need to bring up Michael Harris. Every time I'd be like, he's terrible against lefties. Every time. Because he was not playing well against lefties.
I'm going to look up his splits.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's got to be pretty good.
Dude is already 2.5 Fangraphs WAR.
Yeah. He's crazy good.
He's so freaking good. And he's already, I think he has 5 outs above average already.
Any corresponding mood with that, Trent? I'm trying to pull
sorry, what happened?
Elder just got optioned.
Oh, yeah. I guess just sent back.
Man, tough break for that kid. 7 innings and 10 Ks. Thanks. Have a good one.
I know. Yeah. Shuttle's waiting for you.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, so he is actually versus lefties, he has a 76 weighted runs created plus, and against righties it's 147.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you expect it to be lower, 76.
Yeah.
Not great, but
a 264 average if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, batting average isn't completely useless.
So he's getting his hits against lefties. Yeah.
Like I said, big homer today against the lefty. Hold on, let me. Never mind. Thank you. It's being taken care of, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I just. Michael Harris continues to impress me every day. In fact, actually, the double that he had earlier in the game, was that off of?
Was that they threw
was
a
that
couple
off of Garrett?
lefties.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Was that off of Garrett? Because Garrett was a lefty.
I'm looking.
No, it was off Dylan Floro.
Okay.
So, anyways, whatever. Dude had 2 extra base hits against.
But the big hit was against the lefty.
Yeah, tied the game.
But it was also, and I had pointed this out the other day with their closer, who's just not good. And anytime I watch him, I'm just like, how is this guy still? He has no control over his pitches, and he's just terrible. So when I was like, oh, they're going to put this guy in, like for some reason.
We beat today. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, you're right. He's pretty awful.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. But no, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I was just like, so I kind of was like, a 1 run, maybe we can push something across. So
yeah, we'll see.
Home run gets it done.
The thing that concerned me about that is it feels like the one thing that the Marlins have going for them is pitching. But then again, they just traded away all their good bullpen pieces.
That's
which
true.
Was really only a couple. To
nonetheless, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thins that bullpen out. I mean, they needed 3 innings out of the bullpen today to secure a 1-0 win, and they couldn't get it. And I mean, I'll take it. Whatever, wins are wins. Like I said, we'll stack them when we got to stack them. Whatever. Braves won 6 in a row.
Like I truly don't care who we're playing. I really don't care. The Mets trolls. I don't care. We won. The standings show a win. The standings aren't saying, "Oh, it only counts as this much of a win because you were facing this."
Yeah, it's not
like
hockey,
I don't care if we barely won. I don't care.
Yeah.
A win's a win.
We don't have a
and you'd say the same thing about your own team.
To the right. Do you pay attention to hockey at all?
No, not really.
Okay, in hockey, this is bonkers. Okay, this is how they score, or this is how they do standings in hockey, right? So you have your win-loss, and for each win, you get like 2 points, right? And then if you go into overtime, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you still get a point. But if you win that overtime game, then you get a 3rd point, or then you get 3 points because you get the 2 points for winning and then the 1 point for going to overtime. And that's how they determine who leads the division or whatnot. Is like, or I don't know what they call them in hockey. I love hockey, but it's just, I can't watch it. It's so hard to watch.
Really? That's how it works?
That's how it works. It's, I mean,
in professional hockey, the National Hockey League?
Yes, in the NHL, that's how it works. And I'm probably screwing it up like crazy. When I used to, a couple years ago, I had a buddy who's like a huge hockey fan. He used to be a huge Braves fan. And then the teams of the 90s, like he said that the teams of the 90s made him not want to watch baseball anymore because they only won 1 World Series. And I was like, dude, you don't. It's like, whatever, dude.
Fair weather.
Yeah. And then, yeah. To be fair, though, to him, Game 5 of the NLDS in 2019 happened while I was like good friends with this dude, and like I had to go back to work the next day and face him. He was like, "I told you that was going to happen." I was like, "You fucking asshole."
He's like, "The Braves will never win another championship. You might as well not root for them."
Yeah. Sky Paul, thoughts on Mets luck? I mean, we just talked about this actually. good for them, I guess. Like they grind out at bats,
getting it done. As much as we were saying in April and May and June, this isn't sustainable. Well, they found a way to make it sustainable, and paired with their pitching, they're getting it done.
And
so
that's,
you know what? At this point,
the key.
Good for them.
And that's what people don't acknowledge enough is how elite their pitching is.
Yeah.
Now, credit to them finding a way to get through not having Scherzer or DeGrom for all that time and still maintaining a lead.
Yeah.
Because they could have completely fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
The rotation,
and they nearly did. I mean, they did lose 10 games in this game.
It got bad, and they got their guys back just at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as much as we hated when they would say, "Oh, well, the only reason the Braves are doing good is because they're playing this team and this team and this team and this team, and they're not playing any of these teams." As much as I hated saying that, right now the Braves are going through a tough stretch where they're not playing bad baseball either. So let's just acknowledge that. Yeah. They're beating the bad teams. We're not playing great against the great teams, but there's still time to make that adjustment. We're playing some rough teams. This week we've got the Mets and the Astros.
Yeah.
Right?
This week's going to be a big test.
Yeah.
Because this is a week that you look at and you're like, it's possible that it's like a 2-5, 1-6 week if things don't go well. So or what is it? There's 4, 5, 7 games, right? Yeah. So
yeah,
it's possible. I would honestly take a 3-4 week.
Oh, dude, 3-4 would be a
at this point. Yeah, anything more than that would feel triumphant.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's going to happen.
Like I said, as much as I hate that, I do have to acknowledge that the Mets have a super easy schedule coming. Mm-hmm. So I don't expect them to really give the Braves much ground to catch up. Mm-hmm. They're probably just going to run through it. They'll probably win 105 games. It's crazy. If I would have told myself this a month ago, I would have been like, yeah, bullshit. But looking at the way they've played against us, the way that they just won a series against the Phillies, who have been the second best team in the majors since June 1st.
When the Phillies took that first game, I was like, oh, and they have Nola and Wheeler still to come. I was like, they probably take this series. So that kind of sucks. I was hoping they'd knock them down. Bag, but.
Mets. I mean, we always say the Mets. Well, the 2022 version of the Metsing is coming in
to win,
shoving it down your throat and saying, "Oh, really? Here's 6 runs off your fucking ace." Okay, so, and I don't care if we got it because we blooped a soft liner or soft bloop hit to right field, or if Pete Alonso bounced the ball off the third base bag that Austin Riley was going to catch. I don't care if that's how it happened. It happened. So whatever. It is what it is. I don't like it. I don't like admitting it.
I know.
It hurts my pride so bad.
But what's crazy is this Braves team could win 95, 97 games and not win the division, But that's also the Dodgers last year won 106 games and win the division. So that happens, but
yeah, so what the Braves are on pace for how many games did we play? We won our 70th game today. So we're 70. Okay, I'll click back here real quick. We are 70-46.
Which is
so we've played 116 games. All right, let's see. We've got that's not right. That's not right either. We got 46 games left. Right? We got.
So I think it's 40. They're 47-19 since June 1st.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's sick, though. And especially
one of the things that I do a lot because
of
this
those
is
19 losses came against the Mets.
Yeah, but what I've been doing every couple of weeks is looking at the 2019 record because that's the best Braves team in recent years. So I'll kind of look at where was that team at this many games. So what is it? 116?
Yeah, we got 116 games.
So that team was 68-48.
We're 2 games ahead of that.
So, and that team won 97 games.
I mean,
no, this is a good team. Just because you're not as good as the Mets, if the Mets win the division, doesn't mean the Braves are a bad team.
No, it doesn't.
There are definitely people who keep pushing, oh, we'll never measure up, and so this team's bad. It's like, no, that's not really how it works.
Right. And
did you think the Dodgers were a bad team last year because they didn't win the division?
No. God, no. There's a reason we went into that series thinking it's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough. But I mean, pitching got it. I will admit that when Max Fried didn't have his stuff in his second NLCS start, I was like, we might be in trouble. But it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now we've got a 603 win percentage, right? 603. Let's see. Hold on just a second.
It's like 90 something, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's 60%.
Well, you just have to look at 0.603.
97 win pace right now. We're on a 97 win pace.
After that really rough freaking start.
Yeah.
You just think about
after what the Mets did to us last weekend.
Like just the idea of if Harris had come up at the start of the season or if Ronnie was able to start the season, like where are the Braves right now? You know, we had a really, really rough 2 months and then just took off. And Harris coming up is not a coincidence. That's the reason for that.
Right. Oh, dude. I mean, it happened when Harris came up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a week after he came up, we started
Not
the
even
14-game win streak.
He came up the 28th and the 1st is when we started. It was literally like 2 games later. It was like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah. It was like it just filled everything out. It just felt like the lineup was right. It felt like sorry, I was reading what Trent said about college football. I didn't see that. Oh, he said that 8 minutes ago. Sorry, Trent. Or 7 minutes ago. Yeah, 8 minutes ago. They're going to seed the playoffs this year. I don't watch college football, Trent.
Yeah, me neither. I know. That doesn't.
I call myself a Hokie fan, but that's only because they're right down the street.
I'm from New Jersey. I mean, I guess there's Rutgers, but we're not really college football people around here.
Yeah. That's like an SEC thing down there where you guys live, Trent. That's unfortunately. And yes, Riley, I'm sorry, I didn't see that either. You're right. Who watches hockey? That's why I'm not 100% sure that I've got that right about how their point system works. I know that it kind of works like that. The Yankees.
What about the Yankees, Trent? Please elaborate on your Yankees.
Is Michael in here? Michael's not here. Michael isn't even able.
Yeah, where's Casper at?
He said that he moved or something.
I'm a Yankee. I don't really think Jordan's a Yankee. What New Jersey, sure, you can call me a Yankee, but Jordan's still from the South as far as I'm concerned.
Hold on just a second.
I'm holding.
I think I accidentally sent Trent an invite to this. And I just saw your message, Trent. Sorry about that. Yeah. Riley is from he's from my town, sort of. Like he lives like 20 minutes away from me.
Nice.
So yeah, it's like I said, I consider myself a Hokie fan, but he's calling us Yankees. Oh, we're not.
Yeah. Well, I said you can call me.
I was too busy looking at what he was.
To Trent, you're up and where he's like looking north because
I mean, sort of. I guess. I mean, I'm still south of the Mason-Dixon. If you want to go there.
I consider Virginia and West Virginia the South. So. Which
is ironic because West Virginia broke off because they didn't want to be considered part of the South. But anyways, and they're more southern than we are. I mean, to be completely honest.
What I'm saying. So for Trent, he's like, oh yeah, that's those Yankees up in
West Virginia's wild, man. There's a reason their slogan is wild and wonderful. They're pretty crazy.
Wild and wonderful, West Virginia.
Anyone who doesn't love college football is a Yankee. That's sure. Marcel's
I'll let Jordan take this one.
Marcel's not going down, but I could see
he doesn't have an option, so he can't go down.
He could. They could offer him an option.
But wouldn't that require? There's a lot of that stuff I don't understand, but wouldn't that require a DFA, and then he can decide what he wants to do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the same sort of as the Ender situation. I know. Ender, I think, had options. Okay. Yeah, because the Yankees optioned him. I don't know. That gets really complicated when players.
Some of that stuff I don't quite get.
But anyways, Marcel's not going to go down for sure, or whatever. Unless he accepts that, but I don't think he would. He's going to get paid either way, so he could be like, "Oh, you want to send me down? No, I'm going to be a free agent instead," and then boom, he's gone. I think.
And then the Braves it would be like Robinson Cano, right? The Mets DFA'd him, ultimately got rid of him, are still paying him.
Right.
Albert Pujols last year, same thing, so we'd still be paying him.
Yeah. And I don't know, Marcel gets complicated. Colleen's not going to say much because
stats aren't slander, don't worry.
Yeah.
I can speak to the
that's
stats.
fair. There you go. Marcel Ozuna sucks if you look at the stats too. It's been pretty rough. So I would like for that to happen. I don't know if you guys know Jay Brownie or at Jay Brownie. I know you know who that is, Jonathan. But he's been actually beating that drum for 4 months that we should bring up Trump to be our third catcher so that we can DH one of Travis or William every day, which really is a good idea.
Travis hasn't.
The only problem is
he really hasn't been that good. Travis.
He hasn't. He's been terrible. He's got a one.
So I think what they need to do is every once in a while is just DH Ronnie. Today, what they did is they put against lefty Eddie and Grossman in the outfield, which means they're open to doing that. It's just that because Ronnie was sore, they still DH'd Ozuna, but a lineup like that with Ronnie at DH, William catching, that's a really, really good lineup.
Yeah.
They should do that more often.
They should.
And it gets Ronnie off his feet every once in a while.
Every time Ozuna hits a homer, which is once a week, it's Snit automatically thinks, oh, he's here. He's good. He's back. And then he doesn't get a hit. Now he went 2 for 4 today. So
yeah, he got a double. He buys himself more days every time.
Yeah.
Did we? There's a couple games we were facing a lefty that he didn't play Ozuna, so he seems maybe aware of Ozuna's stats against lefties. But so I'm wondering if Ronnie wasn't hurt or sore today, does Ozuna still play, or does what I mean? I'm wondering about that. How that would happen, but
that is a good question. I don't know how they would handle that. I would like to believe that at this point they are so dead set on getting Williams bat in there every single day, because that's another thing. If Travis had been healthy today, he would have caught today. But apparently he's going to catch tomorrow, which I don't love that because it feels like we're going to be taking one of our better bats out of the lineup against.
Yeah, it's do they still DH Ozuna tomorrow? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Who's pitching for them?
Carrasco. So it is a righty. But
well, if it's a righty, they might say, "Oh, well, it's a tough righty. We're not going to throw Ozuna out there." But in reality, they should be saying that every time there's a lefty on the mound because he's horrible against left-handed pitching, and it doesn't make any sense. His entire career, he's been great against left-handed.
It's very odd, right?
It's
2020,
weird.
If you look at his stats, he was slugging, not OPS, slugging 700 against lefties. He was so good against lefties.
That's insane. And
but he has a 30 weighted runs created plus against lefties and 95 against righties. So he's below average, but he's not been that bad against righties ultimately.
And that's the
so
thing.
So if they just played him against righties, he might. overall look a little
People
bit
might be like, damn, he's gotten a lot
Like-
better. I don't know. That's weird because, like, I don't know what would cause that for a guy who's been in the league for so long that he just out of nowhere can't see lefties anymore. I mean, yeah, sure, like he missed like the majority of last season, but I don't know. I mean, we've seen guys miss almost a full season and come back and play fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's Marcell Ozuna is a very complicated and weird situation. Unfortunately, we are the team that has to deal with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
If we could find a way to trade him, that'd be awesome. Apparently, we almost did, which is pretty crazy that Alex almost pulled that off. I mean, I don't think I would have been stoked that it was Avisail Garcia, though.
Is he hurt? I don't think he played this weekend, did he?
Oh, he didn't play this weekend. I mean, he's
just not good. I don't know. I
mean, he's been really bad this year.
Okay. No, I know he has, but I'm thinking they didn't even.
But I don't think bad enough that they just wouldn't play him.
Yeah, now I'm looking because I'm curious. At the injury report, unless anyone knows offhand. Oh, he is. He has a strained hamstring. I was going to say,
Okay.
why would they not play him?
That's another thing that really sucked this this road trip. The injuries, man. I mean, it was just crazy. Like it felt like every game.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'm still not convinced that Pete Alonso was safe on that play with Travis d'Arnaud either.
Not enough to overturn.
Not enough to overturn, yeah. And like even the fact that I had Mets fans who were like, well, I wouldn't have been too upset if it didn't get overturned. That's you admitting that you don't see enough evidence.
The people who are like, I think his cleat touched. If you're only thinking without 100% confidence, how do you find enough evidence to overturn that?
Yeah. Yeah, Garcia has a bad contract, but at this point, he would still be probably more valuable for the Braves than Ozuna because he could actually play the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And you could play him in a platoon with Eddie Rosario. I haven't looked at his splits. Maybe he's just terrible against everybody, but maybe he's been a little bit better against lefties. I don't know.
Let's see. He's a little bit better against lefties, but not really great either way.
What is his? What are you looking at? Fangraphs?
So 80 weighted runs. Excuse me, against lefties. 67 against righties.
Really bad. Okay. So Ozuna's been a little bit better of a hitter. A little bit. But
against righties.
Yeah.
Not against lefties.
Probably across the board, though. You know? I mean, what are we looking at with Ozuna?
He obviously provides some value elsewhere because if you look at his numbers, so his Fangraphs score is -0.2, right? Ozuna's negative 1.1. So you switch the two of them automatically, you're adding a win to your roster. So ultimately,
well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Ozuna, he only impacts the game in one facet, right? And it's only with his bat. And he's not impacting the game with his bat. So, I mean, he impacted that game in Boston with his bat, but, that was it.
Right. He doesn't provide a value elsewhere. So if he's not hitting, he's not really – it's not like, he makes – like Dansby, for example, when he's in a rough stretch with his bat, it doesn't really matter because he's so good defensively that you're like, okay, he's still obviously really good.
And he's been in a really rough stretch with his bat.
I feel like he's just turned back into – he's okay. Yeah, he's just Dansby.
He's Dansby.
We're at this point, you're like, okay, I guess it wasn't just he suddenly turned things around.
He turned into a pumpkin again because now we don't have to give him 175 million.
Imagine this continued the whole year. You're like, wait a second, is it? And then just next year he becomes himself.
Yeah, and then he's like Marcell Ozuna or something. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, that's an interesting spot that we're gonna have to figure out next year. Shortstop is gonna be. Yeah, the Cardinals traded Sandy Alcantara for Marcell Ozuna. I bet the Cardinals would like to have that one back. They're probably sitting there like, son of a bitch, this might be worse than Adam Wainwright for, whatever.
That's why they call them prospects,
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
I mean, very few people could have predicted that Sandy Alcantara became Jacob deGrom. I mean, it's just he doesn't strike out as many people as Jacob deGrom, but God, he's just as impactful of a pitcher. Like, you know, he's going to give
so
you
good.
8, maybe 9 innings every time out.
So good.
He's gonna, he may not strike out a ton,
workhorse.
but dude, he's
so good.
I love that guy, and watching him pitch is just so crazy. It's just like, wow.
Hate facing him, but he's good pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, same story with deGrom, and I'm sure some people say the same thing about Max Fried. I'm sure teams aren't like stoked. They're not like, oh, sweet, Max Fried's going to be pitching against us today. Might get a win today. No, you have those guys now. I'm not putting Max Fried in the same category as deGrom and Alcantara, but he's an ace in my book. I'll call him an ace. He doesn't strike out as many people as, but again, neither is Alcantara. So I don't know. That's a rough one for the Cardinals. I'm glad we aren't that team.
You look back on, you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Someone told me the other day that the Braves won't really know if they won the Matt Olson trade until we see what all the prospects do. And I was like, well, I mean, we've extended Matt Olson for 8, possibly 9 years. And Christian Pache, which is like, don't get me wrong, Langeliers was the prize in that trade package. He was. But even he has been not as great this year. He started out fantastic, but as far as I know, in the second half, he's been not great.
He's still in AAA, right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, knowing the Athletics, they are going to manipulate the shit out of his service time. And he's a Boris guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he wouldn't have been around. Really, the Braves won by getting something of value at the equivalent of Matt Olson out of Shea Langeliers.
Yeah.
Because it's like Langeliers would have been here 6-7 years and be gone. Because if he turns out to be the great catcher that everybody thinks he's going to be.
The next JT Realmuto.
Dude, he's gone. No way he's staying with the Braves.
Yeah.
So I think that's already a win.
You're right, Jorge. And then William Contreras is pretty dang good, man.
Yeah.
Because not only with the bat, but he's really turning into a really, really good catcher.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is.
And the guys work well with him.
Defensively, yeah.
So I almost wish he would he should be our everyday catcher at this point. I think
he should. And
apparently Travis, Max only works with Travis. I didn't realize that, but he's only worked with him this year, so that's, I guess, his.
Yeah.
But Williams, you look at the ERAs and the splits there. They're better with Contreras.
I wonder if that's another reason that they were waiting to start Max Fried.
What do you think? Max just refuses to
no, I don't think it was like that. I think it was just
no, put me on the IL. I will never.
No, I don't think that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that maybe he was already a little maybe he's still not feeling great. And they were kind of on the edge, and he was like, well, they were like, well, he's not really that comfortable with Contreras because I don't know if he's ever caught him, has he?
Not this year. I don't know. Maybe at some point last year.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't think that would be something that they would actually use as their reasoning why not to bring back Max Fried. But if maybe they were like, well, I mean, Travis will be back for the Mets series. We should just bring Max back for the Mets series because we want Max for the Mets series anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Why waste him against the Marlins when he can just beat them with 4 minor leaguers, right?
Obviously. We all knew that was going to happen. None of us were concerned.
There was not a moment where I was like, yeah, we're sweeping this series. Every time I saw who the next starting pitcher was, I was like, oof, that's not good, man. This is not going to be good. Odorizzi wasn't that great. Kyle Muller was okay.
Kyle Muller was pretty good. Got to give credit there.
Yeah, he was pretty good. No, I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm saying he was okay. He didn't go like 7 innings.
Yeah, that's
He
fair.
gave you 5 solid innings. Like he was good. Like I'm really happy, and it made me be like, hey, like I wouldn't be upset if Max Fried needed an extended stay on the IL. Then like Kyle Muller could be that guy that I'd be like, hey, let's go. Like I didn't even think twice about that. I was like, hey, maybe Kyle Muller's finally found it, because I mean it's always been control with Kyle Muller, and that wasn't an issue at all yesterday.
I know. That's just the big thing with these guys, is just trusting your stuff and throwing strikes.
Yeah. But then, after that, you had Ian Anderson. I think we were all wondering, what the fuck are we going to get out of Ian Anderson tonight?
Yeah, he had that rough first inning, and I tweeted like, "Oh, the Gwinnett shuttle's already waiting for him," and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, guys. Don't worry."
Great after that, and then they still optioned him immediately. Of course,
they had to.
Man, though. Yeah, they had to. So, but it's still funny. And then Bryce Elder, when I didn't realize that they had announced that Bryce Elder was starting today. So, like, I was sitting there this morning and I was like, shit, is he even starting today? Fuck. I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay. Well, we're kind of taking a gamble here. And Bryce Elder was like, he had like the best starting pitching performance that we've had in probably 2-3 weeks.
When is the last time a pitcher of ours went 7?
It's been a while. Max, right? Didn't he go 7 or did he only go 6?
I think, did Spencer, that first game against the Phillies a couple weeks ago, did Spencer go 7?
Yeah, he did.
So that was been like almost 2 weeks since one of our pitchers.
Didn't Max go 7 against the Mets? I think he did.
On Saturday?
Yeah. The day that he
got
I
thought he went 6. I thought he went 6. Okay. No, he didn't go 7.
He went 6. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, he did only get charged with 2 earned runs that day, too.
I know. It was a tough luck.
Damn.
Oh, no. Strider, that game against Philly, Strider pitched into the 7th, but didn't finish it. Yeah, so I don't know when we last
Then it had to be that game Morton.
No, it was the Sunday game against Arizona. Fried went 7. That's, I think, the last time.
Didn't Morton go 7 against the Phillies that Wednesday? That following Wednesday? I think so. In that little 2-game series?
6.2.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I think it is that one we won 1-0.
That's right, because Dylan Lee came in.
So
and
2
got
weeks.
A big out,
it's been 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Phillies let us down. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, like this weekend, we made up a game and a half on the Mets.
Yeah. To sweep that doubleheader to gain a half game right there.
We made up a game
and
a half
on Friday to win when they lost. Yeah.
2.5 on the Met or on the Phillies.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
So we're still
that's a pretty successful weekend for the Braves.
When we went into the last Mets series, what were we, 4.5 or 5.5 at that point?
Into the last Mets series?
Yeah, when we went into New York, how far back were we behind?
3.5.
Oh, we were only 3.5?
Yeah, because going in, it was like, damn, if the Braves can find a way, like, hypothetically, if the Braves can sweep this, then,
an easy 5-game sweep of the Mets in New York.
I said hypothetically. But obviously that didn't happen. But then after we lost the first game, it was like, you were the one who tweeted this, actually. I saw it was like, you were talking to, I think it was Dave, Mets fan Dave. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, no matter what happens from here out in this series, you guys are still going to be in first place when the series is over. So we would have had to sweep to take first place.
Yeah.
But after we lost the first game, that put us 4.5 games back. So even if we won the next 4 games, we still would have been a half game back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we went in 3.5 out. Tatis PED suspension is sad, but I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, yeah. Potentially, for sure.
You know what I think?
Because that was the Padres' big thing. Is like, oh, we got Soto, and we're still getting Tatis back.
Yeah,
that was a big development. That's for sure.
That was huge.
Sucks.
That was huge. And Tatis was a dick about it too. To like try to like just lie about it, and then like, dude, you realize everyone in the world has access to the internet. And everyone can look this bullshit up. Like, it's not 1992 when you can just say this shit and then people will be like, oh, damn, that sucks. I mean, it's right there. Like, all we got to do is say, hey, is Clostebol in this drug? Oh, it's not? Oh, shit, he's lying.
There was an interesting discussion, though. Apparently, its name is close to another name or something, but one of them, it was like, people apparently like, no, there's no way that they gave him this. I don't know.
Yeah,
either way, Tatis is not going to be playing a game this year at all. And right now the Braves have a 5.5 game like lead in the wild card.
But I bet
which Padres is also what?
Go ahead. No, what were you gonna say? 5.5 game lead in the wild card.
Yeah, but I was gonna say after the Mets series, everyone was like, the Phillies are coming, the Padres are coming, we're gonna be in that last wild card spot before you know it. Well, this is why you don't start saying it's not the end of the world after a couple of losses. Like, no, please, and relax. So much of this fan base needs to just relax.
Let me clarify, because some people were telling me that I was being reactionary and like overreacting and stuff. Never did I ever think that the Braves were really in trouble. I just said the division is over.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not about the division.
Yes, I was emotional about it because I love the Atlanta Braves and I want them to win the division. I want them to beat the shit out of the New York Mets every time they see them. I was emotional. I don't like losing. That's
but
part of my thing.
But I don't think you said like the Braves will never make the playoffs now. It was just more of like,
no, the people who were saying that, like, over. I literally told.
I'm talking about the people who were like, well, the Phillies are coming now. We're going to be in third place within a week. Like that. I was seeing stuff like that.
Right.
So
now there were people that were like, oh, well, you know, we could still win this division. And I was like, technically, yeah, we could. But after, and this was actually prior to the last game of the series, we had a 5.6% chance of winning the division.
Yeah.
But a 97.7% chance of making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So it's like you can't overreact to that point where you're like, oh, we're just going to suck now from now on. No, we just played the worst series of our season.
And especially when it's not a one-game wild card.
No, it's a 3-game series.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like have a perfect one game to be able to like, you know, if we... Yeah. Do I want that home field advantage in the wild card? Yeah, it would be great to have 3 games at home. True. But
it's going to be hard for anybody to come into Truist Park. Yeah, we're getting in easy. But it's going to be hard for anybody to come into Truist Park and take 2 out of 3. It's not easy.
Hopefully.
The Dodgers did it, and all they had to do was find a way to get a 2-out, 2-strike hit in the top of the 9th inning with nobody on base, and then they had to turn that into a 2-run rally to tie the game. Like, that's the Dodgers. And that was after they completely just smacked us in game 1. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be – I mean, look at the postseason last year. That place comes alive in those big moments. Truist Park is honestly, in my personal opinion, it's probably one of the best home field advantage stadiums in baseball. I mean, you just see they're different. Like, Atlanta fans are different than other fans. We care way too much sometimes. We just do. We face the Dodgers if we win. Fuck yeah, bring them on. Cool with that.
I mean, I don't love it, but I also know how they did last year, so anything can happen in a short series. But we also, per Fangraphs, it's now 99.4 playoff per odds.
So, 99.4% chance of making the playoffs. So the next time somebody tells you, oh, the Braves are going to blow it, they're not going to make the playoffs, or the Padres or the Phillies are going to catch us, like, first off, So
I mean,
what?
there's the only
If both
question
teams
is like,
catch us, we get to play the Cardinals or the Brewers, right?
yeah. I mean, right now the thing is, there's 7 teams. Like the Giants, I don't think they're in it.
Dude,
So right now the Brewers are 1.5 out. Like that to me, it's 4 teams really that are fighting for that.
it's 4
those 3
teams
spots.
fighting for 3 spots. And you think the Braves aren't going to get one of those spots? That's insanity.
Like things would have to go really, really bad.
They would have to go very, very bad.
Yeah. And the thing is, we don't play the Padres again. So we don't play the Brewers again. So it's not like we have, so the Phillies, those are the games where like you have a chance to kind of really push them down a little bit, but it's not like the Padres or Brewers have any say in what happens to the Braves.
They don't.
Point. So
they don't. And really, the Brewers' best chance of making the postseason is to try to win their division.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It would be pretty crazy to see the Padres go out and trade for fucking Juan Soto and Josh Bell and Josh Hader and then not make the postseason again.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty crazy.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That'd be pretty bad.
Please
yeah. Like, what else do you have to do? You know what I mean? So, but I think the Padres, I think they're going to get in.
I think the Phillies are still in position for that second wild card spot.
I think right now it's the 6 teams that it is. I think it's Dodgers, Mets, Cardinals, Braves, Padres, and Phillies. That's what I think it's going to be.
Yeah, I do too, but I don't want to count the Brewers out on coming back and winning that division.
They could, but they seem to be, I don't know.
Did they end up losing today? Did they lose today? They did. Oh, okay. If they had won today, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah.
Losing today, I think it puts them 1.5 out?
Yeah, of the division and of the wild card.
Yeah. So I don't know, 1.5, like we act like 1.5 is a big gap, but
yeah, it's not at all.
It's not, but the Brewers,
but when you lose 2 or 3 to the team you're chasing, obviously, like we know that happens, but so.
Oh, I didn't realize Trevor Plouffe predicted a Brewers White Sox World Series. Guess you're only going to get that right one time, Plouffe. Sorry, bro. If that
I'm not sure either of those teams is even making the postseason.
If that turns out to be true, that is that's even crazier than his last year's pick. But at the time when he made the pick, I do remember it, and I didn't think that was a crazy pick. The Brewers just have no offense.
They don't. That was why didn't they not get a bat?
And they didn't get a bat.
They traded away Hader, which again, Hader was struggling. So I feel like with Rodgers, that's sort of a wash there. But so you're hurting clubhouse morale with that by sending Hader away, and then you didn't even add a bat. So and the Cardinals improved.
Perfect landing spot for a Nelson Cruz, right? I mean, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Or even Joey Gallo.
Yeah, well, they were in on Joey Gallo, but they didn't get him.
Yeah, it's just weird that they didn't get any bat at all.
I mean, they didn't even. It kind of felt like they didn't even try.
Yeah,
can't even go get a Robbie Grossman yet, man. I mean, come on. I don't know. That's just crazy. Yeah, our deadline wasn't. It has the benefits haven't exactly been there yet from those 3 guys. Now Iglesias has been pretty great. He did blow a save at one point, but we still came back and won that game. But yeah, the AL Central is the worst division in baseball, hands down.
It really is very bad.
The NL Central is pretty bad too, honestly.
Yeah, both Central divisions are really
Reds, Cubs, and Pirates.
I'm not moved. I think the Cardinals are clearly the best team of those 10 teams.
Oh yeah, clearly.
The Cardinals are the one Central team I can see winning a playoff series.
The only thing that's holding the Cardinals back from winning 115 games is starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Even their bullpen's pretty stacked. They've got some legit arms in that bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
but they just don't have a ton of starting pitching. What they've got, Wainwright, they've got Michaelis,
Hudson. They went out and got Quintera because they needed somebody. I think they've got injuries otherwise. I'm thinking of Geraldo Quintera.
Yeah. Well, if they went out and got him, you can just mark him down for a postseason game. Yeah.
Yes, Quintana. I don't know who else. I remember they threw some rookie against
Jordan Montgomery. They went and got Jordan Montgomery.
That's right. So they've got a couple of arms. They did add a couple. They added some depth there. Yeah.
So they should. You're right. Then yeah, I feel like the Brewers really don't have what it takes to really catch them. Even though it's a 1.5 game lead right now, we're only a couple weeks removed from the trade deadline, and the Cardinals could go on a heater and just run away, and the Brewers just kind of sit idle and really. That's pretty crazy they didn't get it back. Now the more I think about that, like they didn't really need to go get like 3 or 4 bats like the Braves did last year. They could have done it with 1 bat.
Jorge, the answer to that is devil magic.
Yeah, that's the Cardinal devil magic. That's
and Chris Martin getting injured. Don't get me started,
dude. Chris Martin getting injured, shit all over that series. We should have won game 1.
God,
we did win game 2. We did win game 3. We should have won game 4.
3. I was fired up. I remember I was watching. I went to my parents' house to watch
Dansby got that double,
dude. Yeah. I was like, I was moving. I was like, if we play the Nationals in the, like, I was like going at like way too, and I'm like, my dad was like, calm down. We still have to win another game.
Me too. I was doing the same thing. I took the next day off, or I told you this before. I took game 5 off of work. It was my last vacation day of the year. And I took that off, and I remember telling people, I was like, this is the biggest game the Braves have played in 20 years. Like, I remember telling people that, and like, it just.
Yeah. I took a half day for game 4.
Hey, you know what? Geraldo Quintero might win a World Series MVP one day. If Eddie Rosario.
Seems like the type to run away with like an NLCS MVP at some
point.
point.
For sure. Yeah. Just kind of pop out of nowhere. What did Joe Simpson say? Who the hell is Eddie Rosario and where did he come from? Yeah. He's going to be saying that about Geraldo.
The whole dugout's out to green.
4 years.
Yeah.
When the Braves win their 5th straight World Series title. And
the dynasty continues.
Yeah, the dynasty continues.
We're the Yankees of the 1990s.
Yeah. Hey. Let's not try to be the Braves of the 1990s. If we are,
we're the Braves of the 2020s.
Yeah, we are. I mean, even though it started in 18. I think that's what a lot of people forget about the Braves is like they are like until 2020 they were technically quote unquote ahead of schedule, and then 2020 we probably if we had Mike Soroka in 2020 we win the World Series. If Mike Soroka does not get injured, we win the World Series.
Yeah, or Adam Duvall doesn't get injured.
Never? I don't know about that. Adam Duvall.
You never know.
He was roughing it.
2020, I'm like, and I guess especially now because we won the World Series, but like even before that, like 2019 hurt me more than 2020. Like 2020, I got over like fairly quickly. 2019 is the one that I'm still like, damn it! Like we should have won the damn world. I cannot believe that Ronnie hit that leadoff triple and we didn't score, and we should have freaking won Game 4. I can't believe it had to get pushed to Game 5 and we had to get freaking embarrassed. I'm still mad about that series.
Yeah, because we should have won Game 4. Like I go back to that game all the time. It's just like
we honestly could have just swept them out. We didn't even need a game.
Seeing that ball like barely miss Freddie's glove, it's just burned into your brain. Like somebody just took like a what do they call it? Like a brand, and they just
stamped it in.
There you go, motherfucker. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yep.
It's hard to think back on, especially because like I like that team so much. Like. I have my reservations about Josh Donaldson at this point after the whole Jackie incident, but God, I love Josh Donaldson. Like
they were good and they were fun and they were like the right amount of cocky. Like they were like, you know what I mean? They earned that cockiness because they were just good. Like it just sucks.
Dude, yeah. Like it's been said so many times about Josh Donaldson that like you hate him so much until he's on your team.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's on your team, he's your favorite player because he's just like that guy that just hits ding. Now he's not doing it for the Yankees. So that is what it is. They got a whole nother year of that, I guess, whatever they're going to do there. But like he just hit dingers, right? And like crushed baseballs all the time, played great defense, like phenomenal defense.
He had such a good season.
And then was just like, fuck you, like shoving that down everybody's throat. Like he didn't give a shit about who you were. Like he didn't mind just like, I don't know, man. The umbrella thing that in the dugout at the end of the year was just, oh man, Jesus Christ.
I'm just like looking. 5.2 Fangraphs WAR in 2019.
For who?
Crazy. Josh Donaldson.
What? I didn't know that.
He was so good.
Holy crap. And then, like, it's so crazy because, like, 2017, 2018, like, he both was, like, just not healthy. So he wasn't really good. He never did anything. And then 2019, like, was, like, career resurgence, right?
It was the typical, like, Anthopoulos reclamation project.
And it was
1 year prove it deal.
How good it worked. And then like the very next year we did it with Marcelo Ozuna. And then we were the sorry sacks of shit that took the bait and we're like, oh yeah, he's really good now. Let's go give him 4 years and $65 million. But I don't blame him. I don't blame Anthopoulos for that at all. Like there was no reason not to sign that deal. After what he did in 2020, the batted ball profile backed it up. All the peripherals backed it up. Everything. I mean, his clubhouse presence, he was the big clubhouse guy, and he checked every box for Alex Anthopoulos. And then it just
turned out that he was a piece of shit. And then
hey now. You're not allowed to say that.
I'm allowed to slander him personally.
That's
okay?
fair. That's fair. You're allowed to slander his,
I can't slander him professionally.
His personal life, I guess you can talk as much shit about.
I get that pass there.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. But all right. Well, I'm trying to think about what else there is really. But I mean, I guess we could real quickly kind of go over the coming series, the Mets series. Tomorrow it's Strider versus Carrasco. I hope Strider comes out and just.
We need him. I'm just like, can
we really do?
One of our pitchers just have a good, a quality start. I mean, Max came a close.
Just a decent start.
Just a quality. I'll take it like a 6 or 7 innings.
Technically, Max had a quality start.
That's what I said. Technically, he did.
But he had 4 runs. But 2 of them were unearned, and it's like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that good. I don't know. Whatever. Quality start's a stupid stat. But I see what you're saying. Like we're just completely like burning our bullpen.
Yeah.
Like game 1 of that series last week, Odorizzi not being able to get deep, that hurt, and then Anderson to get 8 runs of support and not be able to do anything. It was just horrible, dude. It was just horrible. So Odorizzi's starting game 3. We got Morton in game 2. I kind of agree with what Trent said earlier. It feels like Max Fried's going to pitch game 4.
Or Wright. Like it could be either
one of
them.
What's going on? But what's going on with?
They said he has arm fatigue.
Well, if that's the case,
so he originally would have been on. He would have originally pitched tomorrow, I guess. Ultimately, so I don't know if they're just
right. And I thought he was pitching tomorrow until today. It came out that Strider was starting tomorrow. Actually, Jorge, are you not a Braves fan? Is Jorge a Mets fan? And he's just like, I get it. Like,
I don't know.
he's just like,
I don't know. He's talking about various teams, so maybe he's just
saying,
he's
just a baseball fan.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that, Jorge. I'm a baseball fan myself, and yeah, I didn't acknowledge what you said about the Twins, but they are a tortured fan base when it comes to postseason. Like, they just can't cut it. Like, it just doesn't happen for them in the post. I don't know why. It's weird. Like,
yeah, it has to be hard.
Especially when they match up with the Yankees, it's like immediately a 3-game sweep every time. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If they match up in the wild card, well, now the Yankees aren't going to be the wild card. They're going to.
No, they'll probably be that 2 seed.
Right? Yeah. How many wins do they have now? Because they have lost a lot lately.
They really, really have. I think they're still at like 72 wins.
Dude.
But they have fallen off.
Dude, they have 72 wins? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're telling me the Atlanta Braves are 2 games back of them?
Mm-hmm.
2.5. 2.5, right? 46.
Yeah, because they've played 114 games. We've played 116. So there's.
That's insane. Yeah. They only have 2 more wins than we do.
Mm-hmm. And like the beginning of the season, they just didn't lose.
They had like 25 more wins than us at one point.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're 2-8 in their last 10.
I'm not panicking if I'm a Yankees fan. I'm thinking, thank God
no,
this is
they're
happening
going to win
right
the division.
Now.
It's just they have come back to earth for sure.
Well, we've talked about this, though. You and I have both said this. We said it on the last pod. It just doesn't, like when you look at that roster, it doesn't look like a roster that should be that good.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about coming into the season. The Yankees were like one of the top, like I think after the Dodgers, like the second best odds to win the World Series. And I remember being just like, how?
Why?
And then they started winning. I was like, well, I guess somebody knew something because they've all.
Yeah, but like IKF has sucked. Like he's been so bad, like terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They could have signed Carlos Correa. Instead, they traded for IKF and Josh Donaldson,
which I think is because they're anticipating their top prospect, Anthony Volpe, however you say it, is going to be ready next year. So I don't think they. And
I really think they want to make like a legit serious run at Juan Soto.
They might.
And I think they're going to try. They're going to do their best to keep Judge.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do their best.
Yeah.
I don't know where else.
I don't know how you could let a player like Judge walk.
Dude, if he breaks 61 this year, like how do you sell that to a fan base? Like it was kind of easy to sell the Freddie Freeman walking thing because it's like, hey, he won a World Series for us. Yeah. Like
he won his MVP. He won his world. He did his. He got
MVP,
all the career boxes.
He
checked
got a World Series.
Right?
Like he checked all those boxes. That number's gonna hang in the rafters one day. Like he did it, and now he's gone. He's moving on for something else.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, sorry, my. Anyways, if you don't re-sign Aaron Judge though, after he he still has a chance to break the all-time record.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes on if he continues just rolling with this home run barrage he's on. What's he 47, 48?
46, I think.
I saw not too long ago.
100 RBI, 46 home runs.
On August 14th. Okay,
he's
so
gonna end up with 150 RBI.
He would need 27 more homers, 28 more homers to break it. I don't think he's going to come anywhere near 73. But
no.
But could you see 70? It's not that far out of the realm of possibility after what he's done this year, right? I could see him hitting
maybe.
I could see 65.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So what are we a little more than 2/3 of the way? So maybe it's 20 more. I don't know. Maybe he's in the 60s. I don't know if he's going to get.
But 20
unless he
more,
goes on some tear.
20 more would be a lot in a month and a half. That's a lot. That'd be 15 next month. Yeah. But if he hits 20 more, that puts him in 66.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
True.
So, anyways, we started out talking about Braves
We
and
always
Mets
go off
series.
on a tangent.
And that's okay. It's fun. It is what it is. But yeah, the
Aaron Judge.
Judge,
Is the
Judge
MVP.
is the MVP. Judge is the MVP. Like you just can't ignore what he's doing this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohtani has not. He's stepped it up as a pitcher. He's been better as a pitcher. His bat has not quite been the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, man. Judge is he's unstoppable. He's on my fantasy team, and just like it literally. I was just gonna point out that it literally feels like every single night I get an update that's like Aaron Judge hit a homer. I'm like, again? And then, like
points?
Half the time it's twice a night. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this is like insane. It's pretty amazing. But anyways, so just to finish up talking about the Mets series, I'm not really I'm not like one of those people who right now I'm like, oh, we have to win this series. Like, we don't. Like,
no, and this is the thing is like,
too, that's great.
I don't really think the Braves are winning the division, and that's okay.
I don't really care.
But what I kind of just want is them not to like embarrass them. Like, I feel like that series in New York, it just was kind of like poor defense and just like everything kind of just went wrong. It's like if we can somehow split this series, if they can somehow just split, I just want them to play good baseball.
Watch us come out and sweep, and we're like, what the fuck do we know? We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But no, we're not going to sweep. No. We're not going to sweep the Mets this week, guys. That's just not going to happen.
No. Yeah, I feel like a split seems realistic, maybe.
I mean, dude,
I think you lose 3 or 4, and then it's just like, okay, well,
if we did sweep, he's right. Frank Fleming would lose his fucking mind if we swept them. It would be of epic proportions. That guy, he'd have
a conniption.
Dude, like, he's
close to one already every time you see him in the video.
He is one bad Mets loss away from a heart attack. 100%, no doubt. That dude's unhealthy. And it's unhealthy.
A Mets postseason run that's not gonna be good for his heart.
Dude, no. No, I've thought about it a few times. Like, they need to just lock this guy away.
Oh my gosh.
And just give him a box score at the end of every game, and he can just decide what he wants to do with that. Because otherwise, if he goes through what we went through last postseason, he won't make it. He won't. I'm sorry, Frank, if you're listening. I know you're not, but if you are, I'm worried about you, buddy. That's all there is to it. But all right, well, yeah, let's take 2 out of 4. Mm-hmm. Let's do that. I think that'd be good.
And the best way to start that is
a win tomorrow night with Strider. Strider needs to come out and be Strider. That's what he needs to do. Mm-hmm. Just after all that shit talking people did.
Yeah, I mean that's a bad look for him if he ends up just kind of doing this. I love him. I love him. I'm not trying, but like if he ends up like they get like 6 runs off him or something like that, it's just like that you shouldn't have kind of run your mouth a little. So
yeah, that would be a little bit rough.
Back it up. I mean, we'll see.
If he just came out and got just run over again, which really he really didn't. Like,
I didn't even watch that game, so.
Dude, you were lucky. It was like
I was like, I'm not turning this one on, and then
the first 2 innings were rough. Like, or I mean, not they weren't rough. They were just like kind of like okay, like he's battling, but also CB was just terrible. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, it is what it is. Like, we're getting through this though. And then that 3rd inning happened, and it was just like nothing was going our way. And it was clear right there.
Wrong.
Yeah, it was clear right there. It was like, there's no way we're winning this game. Mm-hmm. Like, Jacob deGrom looks like no one will ever get a hit off of him ever again. The fact that Dansby Swanson hit a home run off of him in that game, an opposite field home run off of him, was just like, I don't know. It's incredible we didn't get no hit that game, but I don't know. All right, well, I guess we'll see what goes on with the Mets, but it's pretty much it for this week. We'll probably come back in 2 weeks, see where we're at again. We've been kind of riding this whole every other week thing for a little while, and it seems to be working out pretty good. So,
yep.
All right, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
All right, go Braves.
Peace out.
Take care, everyone.